Welcome to the Peekaboo channel, where stories and fun adventures come to life. Come along and join us.
The Island Princess.
Once upon a time, far, far away, there stood a magnificent kingdom called Belleros. Belleros was ruled by the noble King Arthur and his beloved Queen Isabella. Their greatest treasure was their little daughter, Princess Rose. But fate soon cast a shadow over Belleros. Queen Isabella left the mortal world far too soon, leaving King Arthur with a broken heart and baby Rose without the warmth of her mother's arms. Years passed, and little Rose bloomed like the flower she was named after. Her bright smile and gentle heart filled the kingdom with joy. In time, King Arthur opened his heart once more and married Queen Seraphine. Beautiful, graceful, and admired by all who first beheld her. Soon, joy returned to the palace when King Arthur and Queen Seraphine welcomed a baby girl, whom they named Princess Violet. The king felt his family was whole again, and little Rose was overjoyed to have a sister to love. But, as little Rose grew more loved by the people of Belleros, jealousy began to take root in Queen Seraphine's heart. She feared that one day, the kingdom would choose Rose as its rightful heir, leaving her own daughter, Princess Violet, in the shadows. With each passing day, Seraphine's jealousy darkened. The kingdom's love for Rose became unbearable until all motherly warmth faded from her heart. Blinded by fear and ambition, she began weaving a cruel plan that would change Rose's life forever.
Take her away. Make sure she never returns.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Then came the fateful day, as Belleros celebrated its grand festival by the sea. Queen Seraphine seized her chance. At her secret command, a loyal servant lured little Rose toward the shore, promising her a beautiful ride across the sparkling waves. Little Rose knew nothing of the darkness around her. As the boat glided over shimmering waves, her eyes sparkled with joy. But the servant rowing it knew the cruel truth. Though guilt shook his heart, fear and loyalty forced him to obey the queen's dreadful command. Soon, the gentle sea turned savage as a fierce storm rose. The boat shuddered upon the raging waves, and Princess Rose slipped into the dark waters. The boatmen reached for her in terror, but the merciless tides swept her away. By morning, celebration had turned to sorrow. King Arthur's heart shattered into pieces to lose her dear daughter. Yet, behind her mask of grief, Queen Seraphine felt a dark satisfaction. Her greatest obstacle was gone. Yet the universe shielded the innocent child. By dawn, the waves bore little Rose to a lonely island. A kind island woman found her upon the sand and adopted her. But when Rose awoke, the storm had stolen her memories, even her name.
Who am I, kind lady?
From now, I am your mother and you are my daughter Isla.
Many springs bloomed and faded, and the child once called Princess Rose blossomed into Isla. Unaware of her royal blood, she grew beneath the island woman's tender care, spending her days singing with birds and whispering to butterflies. The old woman taught Isla the secret wisdom of healing herbs and forest medicines. And so, beneath the shade of emerald trees and the music of the sea, Isla lived a peaceful and happy life. Yet, on moonlit nights, Isla sat beneath the silver sky as questions stirred within her heart. Who is she? Where had she come from? These questions followed her like whispers in the dark. While Isla lived quietly upon the lonely island, far beyond the shimmering sea, stood golden Auradon. There lived Adrian, a charming prince with a noble heart. But Prince Adrian was unlike the princes of old tales. Though born to crowns and marble halls, his heart longed for open skies, untamed paths, and adventures beyond the palace walls. He loved sailing across endless oceans, chasing distant horizons, and discovering places untouched by time. Often, he set out on grand voyages to find hidden islands, meet unknown people, and learn the beauty of different cultures. Soon, Adrian's freedom was bound by royal duty. Returning from a triumphant voyage, he was summoned by King Leo and Queen Lily, who announced his marriage to the beautiful Princess Violet of Belarus. Yet the news brought him no joy, for his heart still belonged to the open sea.
But father, how can I marry someone I don't even know?
Defying fate, Adrian sailed away once more, seeking solace upon the endless sea. After days across restless waters, destiny led him to an unknown island, one that would change his life forever. Upon landing, Adrian was enchanted by the island's quiet magic, its whispering forests, dancing birds, and sparkling streams casting a spell upon his heart. Deep in the enchanted forest, Adrian found a silver-lit waterfall. Yet its beauty faded before the maiden nearby, surrounded by birds and gentle creatures as if nature cherished her. She was Isla. As their eyes met through the mist, destiny seemed to draw them closer.
Hi, I am Isla.
Hello, Isla. I am Prince Adrian of Kingdom Auradon.
Over the next few days, Isla revealed the island's hidden wonders. Glowing caves, dolphin-kissed shores, and moonlit forests alive with fireflies. With every adventure, their laughter grew warmer, their words grew deeper, and their hearts drifted closer beneath the stars. In those golden days, Isla and Adrian's bond blossomed into love. But when the time came for Adrian to return to Auradon, his heart could not leave her behind. As his ship waited by the shore, he softly asked Isla to cross the sea to become a part of his world.
Isla, please come with me to Auradon.
But I have never stepped out of this island before.
As Isla wavered between the island that raised her and the world beyond the sea, the old woman placed a precious rose pendant in her palm and whispered, "Follow your heart, child. The answers you seek may lie beyond these shores. Keep this pendant safe. It is the key to who you truly are." Holding the rose pendant close, Isla finally agreed. Hand in hand, she and Adrian boarded the ship and sailed toward Auradon, carrying love, hope, and the promise of a new beginning. But life is not always a fairy tale wrapped in endless happiness. When Adrian returned to Auradon, he presented Isla before the royal court as the love of his life. The palace fell silent. Then King Leo's fury rose like thunder, shaking the warmth from the room.
Stop daydreaming, Adrian. You are going to get engaged with Princess Violet of Belarus in 2 days.
Father, please, no!
Adrian.
Isla began living within the palace walls, where her gentle love for animals and rare gift of understanding them enchanted Queen Lily. Soon, their shared tenderness for every creature blossomed into a warm and beautiful bond. Days drifted by, and King Leo's Decker brought Queen Seraphine and Princess Violet to Auradon for the grand engagement. The palace glittered with celebration, yet Adrian's heart quietly rebelled, for the vows prepared for him belonged to Violet, while his love belonged only to Isla. Love, however silent, always reveals itself. In Isla and Adrian's quiet glances, Princess Violet saw the truth. Wise and kind, she knew a loveless marriage would imprison 3 innocent hearts in sorrow. With a trembling heart, she begged Queen Seraphine to stop the wedding, but her plea only ignited her mother's fury.
Mother! Prince Adrian doesn't love me. We should not force this marriage. Shut up, you foolish girl! Do you have any idea how powerful our kingdom will become once you marry Adrian?
Princess Violet knew her mother's hunger for power too well. Her pleas were mere whispers against stone, so she sat in helpless silence, praying for fate to free her. From that day on, Queen Seraphine missed no chance to humiliate Isla.
You poor island girl. How dare you dream of ever marrying Prince Adrian?
But deep down, Queen Seraphine's fear tightened around her heart. Dreading that Adrian might leave with Isla, she wove a wicked midnight scheme. At her secret command, a loyal maid poisoned the royal animals' food with deadly sunset herb. A dark poison that could plunge them into fatal sleep if not cured in time, all to cast blame upon Isla. By morning, Coco and many royal animals had fallen into a death-like sleep. Queen Lily cried in terror, My poor Coco. The royal doctors examined them with sorrowful eyes and whispered, "We have never seen such poison before. There may be no cure." At once, Queen Seraphine stepped forward, her voice sharp with false outrage. "This sickness came from the island girl," she declared. "She brought strange diseases from her island." And in their fear, the royal court began to believe her. Blinded by anger and fear, King Leo ordered Isla to leave Auradon at once. Prince Adrian rushed to defend her, insisting that Isla could never harm a living soul. But the king's heart was closed to reason. As sorrow filled the court, Adrian quietly begged Isla to let him go with her. With tearful eyes, Isla shook her head and whispered that his place was in Auradon, not in exile beside her. With a wounded heart, Isla prepared to leave Auradon. Determined to end all defiance, King Leo hastened Adrian and Violet's marriage, believing duty would silence love. And before sorrow could even settle, the wedding day arrived, wrapped in royal splendor but shadowed by 3 broken hearts. In her white bridal gown, Princess Violet sat alone, her heart heavy beneath the veil. Though innocent, she blamed herself for Adrian and Isla's sorrow, knowing helplessly that royal duty was forcing them all toward an unwanted fate. Before the ceremony, Queen Seraphine quietly warned Violet not to eat or drink anything that day. Her words fell like a cold shadow over the bride's already heavy heart. Violet said nothing, but deep inside, she knew her mother was hiding something dreadful. As Isla packed to leave Auradon, a little blue bird flew in and perched gently on her hand. In frightened whispers, it revealed Seraphine's secret. The wedding cake was poisoned with sunset herb, meant to destroy the royal family and let the queen rule through Violet. The wedding began inside the grand royal cathedral. Dressed in white, Prince Adrian stood beside Princess Violet, as nobles and guests from distant kingdoms gathered to witness their vows. King Arthur, too, had arrived for his daughter's wedding. The rituals had just begun when shock swept through the cathedral. Isla rushed in, breathless and desperate, crying for the wedding to stop at once. Her sudden presence ignited King Leo's fury. His face darkened with rage as he thundered before the entire court.
How dare you come back here?
The wedding cake has been poisoned with sunset herb, the very same herb that has cast all the royal animals into a deep slumber. I know who is responsible, Your Majesty, and I know the cure.
Before the stunned court, Isla accused Queen Seraphine of poisoning the wedding cake with sunset herb. At once, Seraphine's mask of grace shattered. Fury blazed in her eyes as she dismissed the accusation as absurd, mocking the thought that His Majesty would trust a mere island girl over a queen.
Then prove your innocence. Taste the cake first. Ridiculous! No one touches the cake before the vows are complete.
We have no objection, Queen Seraphine. Taste it first and prove your innocence.
Enough! The truth is clear now. Mother poisoned the cake. That is why she stopped me from eating it and called it a ritual. Isn't that right, Mother?
You wretched island girl! You have ruined everything!
At last, Queen Seraphine's true face was revealed before the entire court. The spell of her lies was broken, and King Leo, filled with righteous fury, ordered the guards to seize her at once. Stripped of her pride and power, Seraphine was dragged away to prison, finally trapped in the very darkness she had created for others. King Leo, humbled by the truth, sought Isla's forgiveness and blessed her union with Prince Adrian. At once, the heavy sorrow in the cathedral melted into joy, and happiness bloomed across the royal court. But just as hope returned, a familiar royal presence stepped forward from among the guests. It was none other than King Arthur of Bellerose, the father of Princess Violet. King Arthur stepped forward with quiet dignity and introduced himself to Isla. With a heavy heart, he apologized for his wife's cruelty and thanked Isla for saving not only Auradon, but also his daughter Violet from a loveless marriage and a lifetime of sorrow. When King Arthur gently asked about Isla's past, her eyes filled with emotion. She confessed that she remembered nothing of who she truly was, except that at the age of 5, the violent sea had carried her to a lonely shore, where a kind woman rescued and raised her with love. Hearing this, King Arthur stood stunned, for a storm just as fierce had once taken his beloved elder daughter. Had she lived, she too would have been Isla's age. With trembling hands, Isla revealed the precious rose pendant she had carried since childhood, the only memory left from her forgotten past. She told King Arthur that she had guarded it dearly, believing it would one day lead her to the truth. The moment Arthur saw the pendant, his heart froze, for it was the very same jewel he had gifted his lost daughter on the day she was born. Overwhelmed by the truth, King Arthur embraced Isla with tearful joy and revealed that she was his long-lost daughter, Princess Rose of Bellerose. Isla stood shocked, yet her heart overflowed with happiness as she finally found the family she had always longed for. The cathedral filled with joyful tears, and Princess Violet lovingly stepped forward to welcome her lost sister home. Using the healing wisdom she had learned on the island, Isla prepared a gentle herbal cure and saved the royal animals from their deadly sleep. Soon, Coco and the others opened their eyes again, and joy returned to the palace once more. Soon after, Isla and Prince Adrian were married. Surrounded by love and joy, Bellerose and Auradon rejoiced together, for the lost princess had found her home, her family, and her true love. Isla's journey proved that kindness is strength, truth always shines, and a pure heart can turn sorrow into a new beginning.